Before you scroll away, please give me a few minutes. There's an assumption baked into almost all personal finance advice out there. You can feel it in every video, every article, every How I Built Wealth post. The assumption is this: if you want more financial freedom or stability, you need more income. Side hustle, second job, freelance clients on the weekends, passive income streams, multiple revenue sources. And look, none of that is wrong. I do some of it myself. More income can absolutely help. But here's what that advice never addresses. Most people who earn more don't build more wealth. What do I mean? Well, studies consistently show that lifestyle spending rises almost exactly in proportion to income. The raises get absorbed. The freelance money gets spent. The side hustle income funds a slightly more expensive version of the same financial life. More money without a different or proper system just creates a more expensive version of the same problem. So, what actually works? Here's what the research and real-world results keep pointing to. The gap between what you earn and what you spend, and where that gap goes, matters infinitely more than the size of your paycheck. Here's the concept. You don't need another income stream. You need to find and redirect the money that's already leaking out of your current one. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in 5 steps. No side hustle, no extra hours, no sacrificing your weekends. And you want to stick around through step 3, because the redeployment method is where most people leave money on the table without realizing it, and it's the closest thing to a legitimate cheat code in personal finance. But before we dive in, what does financial freedom actually require? It's not $1 million, and it's not retiring tomorrow. It's a specific number tied to your life, and most people are closer to it than they think. We'll get to the exact calculation at the end. For now, here's step 1, the income illusion. I recently pulled up data on net worth by income bracket, and something unexpected appeared. There are people earning $45,000 a year who have more in savings and investments than people earning $120,000. Not because of inheritance, not because they're geniuses, because of a single variable: what percentage of their income they kept. This is called the savings rate. And it is, without exaggeration, the most important number in personal finance. Not your income, not your investment returns, your savings rate. Here's why this matters for you right now. If you're earning $50,000 and saving 5% of it, you're building wealth on $2,500 a year. If you find a way to increase that savings rate to 20% without earning a single dollar more, you're building wealth on $10,000 a year. That's 4 times the progress. Same income, different architecture. The income illusion is the belief that you need more coming in. The reality is that most people have more than enough coming in. They just haven't stopped the money from leaving as fast as it arrives. This reframe is important because it changes where you focus your energy. Instead of spending your mental bandwidth figuring out how to earn an extra $500 a month, which takes real time, real work, and real stress, you spend one afternoon finding the $500 that's already leaving quietly every month. And then you redirect it. Same result, a fraction of the effort. So where is that your hard-earned money going? Probably somewhere you'd never expect, and it's almost certainly more than you think. That's what the leak audit is going to show you next. Step number 2, the leak audit. Every single month, money exits most people's accounts in ways they never consciously chose. Not because they're reckless, because the default settings of modern financial life are designed to extract money quietly without you even realizing or feeling it. Things like 1. Subscriptions that auto-renew for services you stopped using 6 months ago. 2. Insurance premiums that have never been renegotiated since you first signed up are often 20 to 40% above the competitive market rate. 3. Bank accounts charging monthly fees because a minimum balance requirement slipped below the threshold. 4. Memberships you still technically have access to but haven't used in a year. This is the secret leak. And for most people, it runs between $150 and $400 a month. Now, the leak audit takes one afternoon to fix. Here's the exact process. Pull the last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Go line by line, not to judge your spending, just to categorize it. Then you want to highlight anything that recurs monthly or annually that you didn't actively choose in the last 30 days. For each highlighted item, ask yourself these 2 questions. Do I actually use this? Could I get the same thing for less? Then do 3 specific things. Cancel what you don't use, renegotiate what you do. Call your car insurance provider and ask for a loyalty discount or quote a competitor. Insurers routinely drop premiums 10 to 25% for existing customers who ask. Call your internet provider. Same script. And audit every subscription against actual usage. The average American household carries 4.5 unused or barely used subscriptions, according to a 2023 survey by C+R Research. At an average of $32 each, that's over $140 a month going nowhere. Add 1 unrenegotiated insurance policy and 1 forgotten membership, and you're at $250 to $350 recovered without cutting anything you actually value. This is not about deprivation. You're not eliminating things you enjoy. You're eliminating things you're paying for, but not actually getting value from. The difference is important. One feels like a sacrifice. The other feels like finding money in an old coat pocket. Do the audit once. Set a recurring reminder to do it again in 6 months. The leaks have a way of growing back. Now, you found the money. The question is what to do with it, and the order matters more than most people realize. This is where step 3 changes everything. But before we move to the next step, please subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment of the video for my wealth building guide. Alright, let's move to the next step. Step number 3, the redeployment method. Most people who find extra money through a raise, a bonus, a leak audit, or anything else do one of 2 things. They spend it on something that feels justified by having it, or they dump it into savings vaguely and hope for the best. Both approaches leave significant wealth on the table, because not all uses of money compound equally. Where you put found money and in what order determines whether it builds real freedom or just disappears into a slightly more comfortable version of your current life. The redeployment method has 3 stops in a specific sequence. Stop 1. Eliminate high-interest debt first. If you carry any debt above 7% interest credit cards, payday loans, or personal loans, every dollar of found money goes here first. No exceptions. A credit card at 22% interest is a guaranteed 22% return on every dollar you pay toward it. No investment will reliably beat that. This is the highest return available to most people, and most people ignore it because it doesn't feel like progress. Stop 2. Fund the emergency layer. Once high-interest debt is cleared, or if you have none, found money goes toward building 1 to 3 months of essential expenses in a high-yield savings account. Not a full 6-month fund right away. 1 month, then 2. This layer is what keeps the whole system intact when life intervenes, and it will. At current high-yield savings rates of 4 to 5% annually, this money is not sitting idle. It's earning while it protects you. Stop 3. Invest the rest automatically. Everything beyond stops 1 and 2 goes into an index fund or retirement account on an automatic monthly schedule. Not stock picking, not crypto speculation. A broad market index fund is something like a total market ETF that captures average market returns over time, which have historically averaged 7 to 10% annually after inflation. The specific vehicle depends on your situation. A Roth IRA if you qualify, a 401k if your employer matches contributions, a taxable brokerage account otherwise. The vehicle matters less than the habit. Start. Automate. Leave it alone. Let's look at a quick example here. $300 a month invested at a 7% annual return for 25 years becomes approximately $227,000. That same $300 spent on subscriptions and renegotiable expenses becomes $0. The gap between those two outcomes isn't talent, income, or luck. It's sequencing. The redeployment method works because it prioritizes return on every dollar in the right order. Eliminate guaranteed losses first, build protection second, create compounding growth third. Miss the sequence and you're likely investing while carrying high-interest debt, which is mathematically irrational, no matter how good it feels to see an investment account go up. This method is the engine, but an engine that requires you to manually start it every month will eventually stop. Step 4 is how you make this whole system run without you. Step number 4, the automation stack. The biggest enemy of a good financial plan isn't bad intentions, it's friction. Every time you have to remember to transfer money, every time you have to actively choose to invest instead of spend, every time the system requires a decision, it creates an opportunity for it to break down. Life gets busy. 1 month you forget, then 2, then the habit is gone. The automation stack removes every recurring decision from the system. Here is the thing. Before payday hits, you want to set an automatic transfer to savings fires immediately before you see the money. That same day, the automatic investment contribution hits your brokerage or retirement account. Bills, all set to auto-pay, scheduled the day after payday when cash is highest. The sequence matters. Savings and investment transfers happen first on the same day as income. Bills auto-pay second. Now, what's left is your spending money, and it's already the right amount, because the architecture took what it needed before you had a chance to redirect it elsewhere. Set this stack up once. It takes about 90 minutes across your bank, brokerage, and bill accounts. After that, the system runs without you. Automation is not laziness. It's the removal of willpower as a required input. Willpower is finite. Automation is infinite. The people building the most consistent wealth are not the most disciplined. They're the most automated. The discipline happened once when they set it up. All right, now the system is running. But here's the piece that makes all of this feel real. The freedom number. Because financial freedom, without a specific target, is just a mood. Let's make it a math problem. Step number 5. The freedom number. Financial freedom is one of the most thrown around phrases in the personal finance space, and one of the least defined. Which means most people are chasing something they can't measure. Which means they can never know how close they are. Which means it always feels impossible. Here's how to make it concrete. Your freedom number is your monthly essential expenses multiplied by 300. That multiplier comes from the 4% withdrawal rule, the research-backed finding that a portfolio can sustain indefinite 4% annual withdrawals without being depleted. Multiplying monthly expenses by 300 is just a clean way to express the same math. Essential expenses only: housing, food, utilities, transport, and healthcare. Not vacations, not dining out, the floor of what your life costs. Let's say your essential monthly expenses are $2,500. Your freedom number is $750,000. That sounds like a lot. But here's what changes when you run the math through the automation stack. $500 a month, invested at 7% annual returns for 30 years, reaches approximately $567,000, 2/3 of that target, with no other changes. Increase contributions slightly as income grows. And most people in their 20s and 30s hit their freedom number somewhere between their late 40s and mid-50s. Not retirement age, middle age. The point of calculating the number is not to depress you with how far away it seems. It's to make it a math problem with real inputs that you can move. Every dollar added to the monthly contribution, every year added to the timeline, every percentage point gained in returns, all of it is visible, trackable, and real. Financial freedom is not a vague aspiration. It's a number, and now you know what it is. To wrap up, You don't need a second job. You don't need to hustle on weekends. You don't need to find some untapped income stream that all the right people somehow know about. You need a better architecture for the income you already have. Follow these 5 steps. 1. Dissolve the income illusion and focus on your savings rate. 2. Run the leak audit and find what's already leaving. 3. Deploy what you find in the right sequence. 4. Automate the whole system so willpower never has to enter the picture. 5. And calculate your freedom number so you know exactly what you're building toward. That's it. That's the whole system. And it fits inside your current income, your current schedule, and your current life. The only question now is when you start. Because the one variable that matters most in every one of those compound interest calculations, the one that changes the outcome more than any other, is time. Every month you don't start is a month of compounding that doesn't happen. So start this month. Even small, even imperfect. The math doesn't care how ready you feel. That's it, fellows. Before you go, my wealth building guide is linked in the pinned comment. Check it out and do subscribe to the channel. Until then, see you on the next video. Take care.